Welcome back to Predicting the NFL with Mickey G. It's yours truly, Mickey G, and it's actually a pretty special day. It's my birthday, so I need all of the birthday wishes in the comments below, and also just give me like, I don't know, $100 or something. That would be pretty sick. But anyways, let's talk about how we did last week. Last week we went 9-6, so we're staying above that 500 range, and I'm just gonna pretend that we got 10 and we got that double-digit mark because there was the one game that didn't have because of the bye. So, but if it did, then we definitely would have got it right though. However, we did get the game of the week wrong, the upset wrong, Crapfest right, and the Jersey team did win, and that was our prediction. So now on the season, we are 69-39, 4-3 in games of the week, 4-3 in upsets, 3-4 in Craps Fests. Teams are 5-2 when I wear the jersey, and my picks are the same. 69 wins is the most through 7 weeks. We're just below that 10 win mark. We should have got that 70, but I sold on a few of these games. A little bit of bias. Getting a little bias going in. We got to lock it in now. Historically, in week 8, we are 62-24, which is actually very, very good. Potentially, if we get 8 correct, then that would put us as the first week to have 70 total. We are 4-1 in games of the week, 2-3 in upsets, 3-2 in crap fests. Teams are 0-2 when I wear the jersey, and my picks are 1-1. The best we've ever done in week 8 is 12-3 back in 2019. Actually, we were pretty close last year. We went 12-4, so just one difference. But that's going to be a hard mark to beat considering there's only 13 games this week. So that would probably be like an 11-2 or something like that. I didn't check the percentages to get that accurate because honestly, we haven't gotten near the best in a week ever. So we're gonna not even pretend like we're going to do that because apparently we don't have the ability to do that. We just get good every week. We never get a great week besides week 1, which we turned on the gas for. But that's enough about last week, except for you guys definitely want to know about the betting numbers. We took $120 and turned it into $125. It should have been so much more, but I had opinions on things that I shouldn't have, and I was just throwing money around like, oh, this is gonna hit, this is gonna hit, this is gonna hit, and then the majority of them did not. I was just under 500 on the college football games, and I did really well between the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games, and then every other game I got wrong. I got one wrong between the 1 and 4 o'clocks. All the 1 o'clocks right. I got one 4 o'clock game wrong. Every other game I got wrong, and all my bets that went along with that also were wrong. Except for the Thursday game, we were debating about the tight ends, and it was apparently all of them. So we're not messing around for that this week. But for the money line games, we turned $75 into $70.57. So we need to lock in on that spot. I mean, that's what we're actually looking at to see if it's making money worthy, what percentage you need and all that and stuff. And I'm just not. I'm just below it right now in the money making area, and I need to stop that. But that's enough about that. Let's get into this week's predictions. First on our list, we have the Vikings at the Chargers, our Thursday night game. And so what are the tight end bets for this week? Because I was jabbing about him last week. Gadsden had an exciting breakout game last week, so he's probably getting a touchdown. And then also Hawkinson is the tight end for the Vikings, most likely to get his spot there. So that's what I put my money on, and we're going to hope that that works out. That being said, who do you think is going to win this one? Well, Chargers' offensive line is still terrible, and this is the blitz team. So what do we think is going to happen there? The Vikings should win this game. They also still got Carson starting. Fell short last week, but he still is the better option over McCarthy. I will always have that opinion. So I think the Vikings should and will get this one. Next is the Dolphins at the Falcons. Dolphins are in a complete mess of a situation there. We did get to see some Quinn Ewers snaps, which was cool because they were so bad. Tua was so bad. He had 3 picks. Mr. Turned the ball over. Decided to do it again. Unfortunately, Tua is still expected to start, which is unfortunate, but I don't think it really matters because the team in general is just terrible. The Falcons disappointed me last week. They did lose, but I still think they're a pretty solid team. I think they're probably just mediocre. I'd like to be a little bit better, but you can't win them all. That being said, I do believe that Michael Penix is a little injured up. Let me confirm that. He's limited, but even if he doesn't play, I mean, Kirk Cousins is behind him, and not that Kirk Cousins is the greatest quarterback of all time. I do like Kirk a lot. He's not a bad number 2 for sure. Probably by far one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league, and he can beat the Dolphins. So it's really not an issue. Falcons should win this one. Next is our crapfest of the week. It is the Jets at the Bengals. Historically, the Jets are 5-7 in Crapfest. My picks are 7-5. The Bengals are 9-1. They have a tie in there, but my picks are 12-7. So I kind of know what goes on when these teams are bad. I am above 500. The Jets are terrible. They were thinking they might throw out Tyrod this week, but he's dealing with an injury, so it might fall back to Fields. And the Bengals obviously looked pretty good last week. They beat the Steelers. Flacco is that veteran presence that really kind of jump-started them a little bit. So Bengals should win this one. Let's not dilly-dally here. The Jets are terrible, and it's also in Cincinnati, so not a whole lot going in their favor, to say the least. Next is the Browns at the Patriots. Browns got themselves a nice win over the Dolphins. However, Dylan Gabriel-Stoll didn't do anything spectacular. It was kind of just the run game. Judkins, 3 touchdowns for him. He was really showing out. Patriots are a solid team. They had a nice big win over the Titans last week. I think that's going to continue here. Let's not mince words here. The Patriots are looking pretty solid. They're the top team in their division right now. And I think that's going to continue with a win over the Browns. Next is the Giants at the Eagles. Giants with a bit of a collapse last week, whereas the Eagles actually were able to hold on and not collapse, which they have been doing recently. So, big win for the Eagles and a bad loss for the Giants. And I think that's what's going to happen again. I don't think the Eagles are losing twice to the Giants, even though they do have the exciting whites. That doesn't totally matter to me. The Eagles are the better team, and I think they're going to get this one going. Next is the Bills at the Panthers. The Bills are coming off the bye, which is a big thing for them. And also, Bryce Young hurt, which may be an upgrade. We do get the Andy Dalton. The red rifle is back. But Bills off the bye, I do like a lot. Josh Allen is that guy, and I think he should be able to outduel Dalton, even if Dalton's having a really nice day. So, Bills are getting this one. Next is the Bears at the Ravens. This is our upset of the week. You might be wondering, who is the upset in this game? Well, according to bettors, the upset is the Bears. Ravens are pretty heavily favored in this one, and I don't fully know why. They must be forgetting that even with Lamar, they were still losing football games. They were 1-5, which is not great. Defense has not been fixed at all. They're still terrible. Coming off the bye is nice for them, but the Bears are also on like a 3 or 4 game win streak right now. The Bears are on a 4-game win streak right now. They're looking pretty solid, actually, and as a Bears hater, I don't want to say that, but that's just kind of actually what is happening. Bears are 5-3 in upsets. Ravens are 4-2. My picks are 1-7 for the Bears and 0-6 for the Ravens, so not historically a great picker in these games, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going with the Bears. Next is the Niners at the Texans. Niners coming off a big win, and the Texans coming off a big loss. However, for some reason, the Texans are favored in this one. Part of that is probably due to the injury issues that the Niners have going on. We don't know which quarterback is starting. We don't know which receivers are going to be back. We don't know much about anything when it comes to the injuries. We just know that Christian McCaffrey is healthy, and really that's all that I think matters. McCaffrey is that guy. He's known to be that guy. He's currently top 10 in both rushing and receiving in the NFL currently this season. If he keeps that up, that'll be the first time anyone's ever done that in history. So that's pretty darn impressive, and that's why I'm going with the Niners. Next is the Buccaneers at the Saints. Well, unfortunately, we do now miss Mike Evans for the majority of the season. He will not be getting the 1,000-yard streak, at least unless he averages like 300 yards per game when he comes back, if he comes back. But this is also the Buccaneers and the Saints. As injured as they are, this is a New Orleans Saints football team that is not good. So it should not be an issue here. The Buccaneers are getting this one. Next is the Cowboys at the Broncos. Cowboys with a pretty big victory. I was incorrect. I thought Washington's defense was going to play a little bit better. And their offense be able to do anything against that Dallas defense, but not totally the case. There was just too many points scored from Dallas. CeeDee Lamb came back, which I was not aware of. That's on me. But that duo is really unstoppable with him and Pickens, and the way that Dak's slinging it right now. Hard to hate on the man. He's out there putting up numbers now, and that's not to say he hasn't done that before and then fallen apart in the playoffs. That has been a thing he's known to do, but currently right now he's playing pretty solid, and they might be going up against a really solid defense in Denver, but Bo Nix is also the quarterback for Denver. He is bad. They almost lost that game to the Giants. If it wasn't for the Giants falling apart completely, they would have. So I'm going with the Cowboys in this one. Next is the Titans at the Colts, and we're not going to talk too much about this one. We know which direction this is going. It's not in favor of the Titans. They are terrible. The Colts, on the other hand, are really, really good. They have the best record in football. They're 6-1. Why would I expect them to do anything but be the Titans? So that is my pick, and that's what we're going with. Next is the game of the week. It is the Packers at the Steelers. Packers are 3-3 in games of the week. Steelers are 8-6. My picks, however, are 2-4 with the Packers and 9-5 with the Steelers. So I do kind of know what's going on with the Steelers in these games. Here's the thing. Packers, they're on a 2-game win streak after the bye. They're looking decent. That being said, they're often still a bit shaky for me to fully support them. But the Steelers, on their hand, have played literally nobody in a successful manner. The teams that they've played that they've beat have been bad. The teams that they've played and lost to have either been pretty good or they've just looked bad. This is also a team that allowed 30 points to the Justin Fields Jets. So let's not forget that. Their defense is not good. They're all old. They're all washed. And I think the Packers could have a breakout game here in this one. And also, Micah Parsons should eat Aaron Rodgers for lunch. So I am going with the Packers. Next, and our final game of the week is our jersey game of the week. As you see, I have the RG3 on, and that is in honor of Jaden Daniels doing his best RG3 impression. Unfortunately, he has decided that he wants to be hurt a lot this season. So we get him only about maybe 1.5 games in a row. So Mariota getting the start here at Kansas City, which is not a great look. Now in jersey games, Washington is 0-3. The Chiefs are 0-1. Washington, my picks are 1-2, and my picks are 0-1 for Kansas City. Chiefs are looking really good right now. They look like the best team in football. Rashee Rice came back, and they gave him the football. They were not going to pretend about not giving him the football. They said going into the week they were going to get him involved a lot, and they did. I believe he had 2 touchdowns against that Raiders team, which is quite bad. So the Chiefs are looking pretty hot, and the Commanders are kind of the opposite of that. So the Chiefs should get this one, and it should not be particularly close. We have 6 teams on a bye this week. That's kind of a lot. The Cardinals, Lions, Raiders, Seahawks, Rams, and Jags. So 3 out of the 4 NFC West teams are here, and then a couple other ones sprinkled in there. Jags, they got to figure something out after the 2-game slide before the bye. Hopefully they'll come back stronger. They do face against the Raiders, who will also be coming off the bye, but the Raiders are also quite bad. So if the Jaguars lose that one, we're going to have some problems, but we'll see how it goes. I feel like I'm a little quick here, but I also have some things planned for the day. It is, like I mentioned, my birthday, so I got to go do things. So hopefully this will be up in time, but we will see. That being said, thanks for watching. Make sure to smash like, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I will see you guys next week. So, yeah.
6,100